So, what is love? Let me check out ChatGPT. Love is a complex and multifaceted emotion that's fundamental to human experiences. It is characterized by a deep affection, attachment, or devotion to another person, entity, or concept. What is up, Impact Heroes? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Rick Ornelis. Thank you for spending some time with us today because we know time's a valuable resource and we're going to make it worth your while. I appreciate each and every one of you, not just for listening, but for who you are. I know you're sparking change to make the world a better place every day, and I am humbled and grateful for your efforts. It takes all of us doing our part to spread positive change. And that's what this show is all about, motivating you with stories of struggle, courage, and hope to empower you to make a difference in your life and the lives of others.
In case you missed it.
There are a lot more people out there who are now helping people guide them to kind of like believing that you can transform your 40s and 50s and beyond. My role is to get more and more people to buy into it.
Available everywhere you listen to your podcasts.
It is characterized by a deep affection, attachment, or devotion to another person, entity, or concept. Okay, a little similar to the dictionary, right? Then it went on to say, here are some various forms and aspects of love. So it actually broke them down into romantic love, which is often characterized by passion, desire, and an emotional connection with a romantic partner. And this form of love may involve physical attraction and a desire for long-term partnership. Okay, that's one that I think a lot of us can relate to, right? Being in romantic relationships. Then it talked about platonic love, and that's a deep, non-romantic friendship or affection between people. It's named after the philosopher Plato, who explored the idea of love beyond physical attraction. So remember I talked about those Greek philosophers? There you go. There's one of them. One I'm sure a lot of us can relate to as well, right? And then familial love. And that's the affection among family members, such as the love between parents and children or between siblings. This is a very strong one as well. What many might consider the strongest bond, even stronger than the romantic love. And I'm sure they kind of go hand in hand. And then here's one that we alluded to a couple episodes back in the self-care episode, and that's self-love and the appreciation and acceptance of oneself. And it involves treating oneself with care and respect and prioritizing one's well-being and happiness. And I know for a lot of people this can be a challenge because they're very quick to love others yet not love themselves, and talk down to themselves, for example, and that affects other areas of their confidence and self-esteem and everything. So very, very important one there. And then it went on to explain unconditional love, which is love without conditions or limitations, often associated with parental love, which we talked about, where a parent loves their child regardless of their actions or decisions. And that's why I said familial love is, maybe the strongest one on the bunch, and in many ways, can be unconditional. I would hope it is unconditional for a lot of us out there with our kids, at least. And a couple more compassionate love, so which could be considered altruistic love, and that's characterized by feelings of care, concern, and empathy towards others, often leading to acts of kindness or charity. This is one that resonates with me because I find that when I can be most empathetic for others when I feel like they need a hand. When they need a hand, they need some sort of kindness. They're struggling in some way. And I had never really thought of it as I thought of it as like, sympathy or empathy or compassion, but never really don't really think of it when I'm in that act as love. And so I'm on board with ChatGPT and calling it compassionate love. Then there's things like infatuation, which people mistake for love, strong, often short-lived, like passion or admiration for someone, or even obsessive love, which could be unhealthy form of love, where you become excessively fixated on someone else, and it leads to like possessive or controlling behaviors. So, these are going to be different for every individual, different cultures, and things like that. But love is going to be expressed in many ways, through actions, words, emotions, and it's considered a central theme in many artistic, philosophical, religious, and cultural expressions throughout human history. So, I was actually a bit impressed from what was given from our AI friend. It's a lot more detail than I expected, but it's artificial intelligence and you kind of never know what you're going to get. So, I mean, I took it and sought to learn from that. So for me, I'd say that personally, the way that I spark change through love, I gave you some examples there in the compassionate or the familial love. I'd say for me, I like to keep it simple. And I just like to think of love as the intense feelings and accompanying memories from some of life's greatest joys. Like see your seeing your children and holding them for the first time. I remember holding and seeing my three daughters, each one of them when they were born, and the incredible feeling and emotion of love that rushed through me in that exact moment. And probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful times I felt in my life. It can even be just like caressing the face of your partner, right, and looking into their eyes and feeling that love for them, of a relationship that you have. Beautiful sunrise or sunset. I personally love the outdoors and love sunrise or sunset, and those, I feel love. I feel God's love when I see the sky in a sunrise or sunset. So that really says love to me. I mean, it can be something like laughing till your belly hurts. I mean, so enwrapped in the comedy of the second that you start like rolling on the floor laughing, as the emoji says, or the as the saying goes. Things like relaxing at the beach or getting to the top of a mountain. I mean, those, as I said, I love nature, so those all resonate with me. For a lot of you, it could be a warm, tight hug. I'm a big hugger, so I like to give hugs, and someone that gives a real tight hug, and you feel the warmth of that person, and you can feel their heart and their soul. And many times, I mean, that says love to me for sure. And one of them that any of us could probably relate to would be seeing a friend or family member that you haven't seen in a long time, because there's they're obviously important in your life, and then when you see them, just that feeling, that going back to last month's episode, that feeling of gratitude that you get from being able to see them and being in their presence, and the love that goes along with it. So any of these say love to me, and more importantly, feel like love to me. So I'd say in this way, I think we all have a definition that works for us. And so, what says love to you? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I encourage you to send them in, share them on social media, share them with the podcast, share them on our YouTube channel, because I think we need to share more love anyways. And so I'm open to picking up new ideas. And on that note, I want to thank you for joining me on today's episode. I love you. I'm grateful for each and every one of you in the Impact Hero community. And I hope that what I shared resonated with you in some way and sparked something inside of you. Because remember, you have the ability to spark change every day. And in the theme of today's episode, to love others every day. So I'd love to learn more about the ways you spark change. So please share those with me on social media. I promise I will personally respond. Thanks for listening today, and we'll see you all next time on the I Spark Change podcast. Love you all.
Do you want Rick to speak at your event? Here is what others have to say.
Did not know his story, and it was so inspirational, and his presence on stage, his authenticity was just incredible.
Performance made me feel some type of way. My name is Craig Siegel.
If you're looking for a speaker for your next event, hire Rick. I promise you this, you will not be disappointed.
Visit rickcornelis.com to book him today.
Remember, Impact Heroes, every positive action can be a spark moment that has a ripple effect that spreads far beyond the initial act. So go out there and spark change. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, then please smash that 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify and leave a review. We value your comments, and we want to hear from you in the community. Thank you for listening. God bless you, and we'll see you next week on the I Spark Change podcast.